Hello everyone, welcome back to YK Reviews and welcome back to another weekly entertainment news video. Tons to go over, lots of horror news when it comes to minor details for Scream 7, sawx rating, some interesting development when it comes to the Exorcist movie's release date, along with a couple of Marvel news, so let's dive into it here. Now, apologies for the lack of upload. Honestly, my body's just been exhausted. So a couple of videos are being slightly delayed, but we've got September coming out with sawx. So there's going to be a lot of Saw reviews. All the movies from Saw 1 up until the Spiral of Saw, the one with Chris Rock, the latest movie that came out. We're going to be doing retrospective reviews for all those movies, along with sawx, and then we're going to be doing a tier ranking video. So lots of content coming out for September, along with like the spooky month of October, some horror movie reviews coming out. So plenty to keep an eye out. So if you are new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on those videos, along with these weekly entertainment news videos. We always try to post every single week, so definitely hit the subscribe button if you're interested in those types of videos. And when it comes to these weekly entertainment news videos, timestamps will be in the description down below. Anything you want to skip around to, anything you're more interested in, timestamps will be in the description down below. So thanks so much for your patience, appreciate all the support, but let's get straight into it here with the first news story or teaser trailer that we're going to be talking about. Is they released the third trailer for the Marvels movie, the one coming up in November with Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, Kamala Khan. The teaser trailer or the third trailer that they released here, honestly, I feel like each trailer is getting better and better with the content that it's producing. With this trailer, it does look more fun. You do see that more dynamic with the three of them, and I mentioned this when the second trailer came out, that I feel like the chemistry is what's going to really make this movie better than the Captain Marvel movie that came out in 2019. So I feel like the chemistry and the togetherness and the bouncing off each other is going to help this movie. And like I said, Kamala Khan definitely feels like the personality of the group and is the one that's going to really gel this group together. When it comes to Marvel, my excitement levels are a bit up and down, especially when we talk about what's coming up later on in this weekly entertainment news video in terms of like what's going to be renewed in terms of writers and situation. We'll discuss more of that when it comes to Marvel side of things. But in terms of the trailer alone, the movie alone, honestly, I'm actually looking forward to the movie, I'll be honest. It seems like it's going to be like standalone, not connected to in terms of like the multiverse saga or anything like that. Maybe there's going to be a post-credit scene, maybe there's going to be something towards the end that links it all together, but this just looks like a fun standalone movie with all of them body snatching, and even like the soundtrack too. Looks fun, looks entertaining. Let me know your thoughts if you have seen the trailer or if you've seen the first two trailers, what your thoughts are about this movie. Are you excited? Will you be checking it out? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, one teaser trailer that I'm really excited about and I really cannot wait to see is the Chucky season 3 trailer. They released a teaser with Chucky on this podium talking to the press, and now we've got a teaser trailer where we've got Devon Sawa returning. It looks like he's going to be playing the president. Now, every single season he's always getting killed off. Now, in the first season he was playing Jake's dad, the main boy. Devon Sawa was playing his dad. He gets killed off. Second season he's playing the priest and he gets killed off in the most gruesome way possible. So it looks like he's going to be playing the president in this series in season 3, and it looks like he's going to most likely be killed. You get a lot of that child's play vibe. You see Chucky stealing the envelope opener knife, he's sneaking around, he's killing, I'm not sure who it was, maybe the president's secretary or whatever she was. He ends up like stabbing her in the throat. So you're getting that little child's play 1 vibe with his feet in the flower in the first movie. So I'm liking the tone of that. Curious to see how this is going to work with the settings being taking place in the White House, the Oval Office, how that's going to take into play, how the three characters, Jake, Devon and Lexi, and like how they're going to be coming into play, how Nika's going to be involved and Tiffany. So loads of things, loads of factors. So we still don't know a lot. However, when it comes to the actual premise, it kind of revealed plot details. Now this is coming from the Critical Overlord here, where it's coming from Fangoria as well. According to the plot details, this is what we're seeing here. In Chucky's unending thirst for power, season 3 now sees Chucky ensconced, I butchered that word, with the most powerful family in the world, America's first family. Inside the infamous walls of the White House, how did Chucky wind up here? What in God's name does he want? And how can Jake, Devon and Lexi possibly get to Chucky inside the world's most secure house, all while balancing the pressure of a romantic relationship and growing up? Meanwhile, Tiffany faces a looming crisis of her own as the police close in on her for Jennifer Tilly's murderous rampage last season. Now, honestly, I don't know about you, but this is really getting me excited when it comes to like season 3. So you're going to have that aspect of the three characters trying to break into the White House or trying to get into the White House. You've got Tiffany facing the consequences now and like how that's all going to come into play. So a lot of elements are going to be taking effect with this show. So it's really getting me pumped. Season 2, the review, like I said, I recorded that last year with a completely different setting. So that most likely is going to be posted at the end of September, just before this show comes out. So keep an eye out on that for season 2's review. But season 3, I'm super pumped for it. I think we got a bit of clarification when it comes to like the episodes, because if you weren't aware, the episodes itself haven't finished filming before the whole strike took place. So according to the Critical Overlord, we've got here that Chucky season 3 will release 4 episodes beginning October 4th, and then most likely they're gonna end it on like a cliffhanger, a mid-season break, film the rest of the show, and then probably release it maybe in March, April, or otherwise maybe next year, October. We don't know. So because like I said, they haven't finished filming this, they finished I think halfway through, so we're still getting a better understanding. It's still not 100% confirmed, but we'll have to wait and see. However, so far from what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at, I am really liking the vibe and the tone and what we're seeing so far when it comes to Chucky season 3. Like I said, Child's Play, I really enjoy those movies. The last couple of movies, I enjoy it. I don't take them too serious, but I do love the Chucky character when it comes to Child's Play, more over the campiness tone of it. But like I said, really, I'm looking forward to season 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you excited for season 3? How many episodes do you think they'll release straight away? And if they are going to do a mid-season break, when do you think they'll resume it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now we'll take a break from horror news first as we look to the next news story, which is actually about the Killers of the Flower Moon movie, the Leonardo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese movie that's coming out later on this year. Now this is coming from the Variety, confirming here that the Killers of the Flower Moon scraps its limited release and will roll out globally in theaters on October 20th. Now to be honest with you, I had no idea they're going to be doing it. They were planning on doing like a limited release on October 6th. I thought that it was going to be released and as normal released for like a couple of weeks here, but instead, most likely because of the writer's strike and everything, they've changed their mind here. So we continue through the article. Killers of the Flower Moon will release in movie theaters simultaneously around the globe in late October, shrugging off a planned limited release earlier this month. They also confirmed as well that they are planning on releasing it in IMAX, and I'm guessing also Oppenheimer Barbie movie might have like also swung the pendulum when it comes to this. So I believe because Oppenheimer as of right now I believe has gone past $800 million when it comes to like box office numbers, and Barbie has definitely reached over $1 billion, 1.2 I believe as of right now. So I'm thinking that might help with them deciding to make it a longer run and not releasing it on Apple TV soon after it's been released in the theaters. So honestly, I'm really happy about that, because this movie, with Dune Part 2 being delayed, we discussed that in last week's episode, my most anticipated movie has moved to like Rebel Moon when it comes to Netflix. But with this one, I'm really looking forward to it. The trailer does look really interesting. The cast is so star-studded and looks so fantastic. So I'm really hoping this movie does do well at the box office. It might not hit the same numbers like 800 million, 700 million, but I really do hope that it does well. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Are you happy that it's having a longer run, that it's going on IMAX? Are you disappointed that it's not going to be releasing on streaming sooner than it was originally going to do? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, so let's get back onto the horror train here. So the next news story we're going to be discussing is in terms of sawx. As I mentioned in the very beginning, sawx coming out in September. We're going to be doing reviews for all the movies, but sawx has been rated as rated R for sequences of grisly, bloody violence, torture, language, and some drug use. And honestly, this makes me so happy just to be able to see the traps, see the gore, see the blood. Like, this is what you want in a horror movie, especially when it comes to like Saw with the traps and everything like that. What really intrigues me is the mention of grisly, bloody violence and torture. We saw it in the trailer. Some guy has to do brain surgery like the doctor that tricked him. So that's going to be really epic to see on the big screen. Along with the other traps, I am looking forward to this here. A nice R-rated horror movie as we're coming into close to October. This is going to be really fantastic. And I can't remember if I mentioned it in the trailer when we talked about the trailer release. This could be one of the better Saw movies, as it's taking place in between Saw 1 and Saw 2. So sort of like a prequel, sequel between those movies. So going into this is going to be a really exciting time. I'm really looking forward to this. I have high expectations and high hopes when it comes to this. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Are you happy about the rating? Do you think that it should have been PG-13, or are you glad that it's rated R? Let me know in the comment section down below. Okay, now for the next news story, another horror news that we're going to be talking about, and honestly one I did not think that we would be discussing, is that the Exorcist Believer, the movie that's coming out in October of this year, has actually been moved, not because of like any other horror movie or not because of like wanting to get a better release date. The Exorcist Believer has been moved due to Taylor Swift.
What did I hear you say?
Yeah, you heard me correctly. Taylor Swift has caused the Exorcist movie to be moved, bumping up its release date. So first of all, Jason Blum, like when Taylor Swift, to be honest with you, I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, so I'm not sure what the hell happened when it comes to this, but apparently she's releasing a movie, a concert film, and when this got announced, Jason Blum, who's the head of the Blumhouse Studios in terms of rating Halloween, Exorcist, all those kind of projects here, he tweeted out saying here, Exo Swift, trying to do another Barbenheimer collab when it comes to Taylor Swift in the Exorcist movie, and I'm trying so hard to not lose it when it comes to this story, but he sent out this tweet going Exo Swift, only for 6 hours later for him to then tweet out, look what you made me do. The Exorcist Believer moves to October 6th of 2023. Hashtag Taylor wins. Honestly, fair play to him, but basically coming from the deadline here saying that Taylor Swift's Era Tour concert film has already blasted past 10 million in ticket pre-sales, and people are even comparing it to like a Marvel movie in terms of like the sales and that kind of stuff. So basically, because of this, Blumhouse Studios essentially got scared about the buzz and like that people are more focusing on the Taylor Swift segment of this kind of thing. So they've moved the Exorcist movie to now releasing in October 6th, which I genuinely did not think we would ever see. So basically Taylor Swift is apparently able to beat exorcisms now. Now she's moving into... I'm sorry, this is just... It's Jason Blum's tweets that really like got to me, going from like Exo Swift to then hashtagging Taylor wins. Like, this just honestly really caught me off guard. But yeah, the Exorcist movie has now been moved up. So you've got sawx coming out at the end of September, and then the first week of October, you've now got the Exorcist movie here. What are your thoughts about the change? What are your thoughts about Taylor Swift moving the Exorcist movie, beating the Exorcist, having Blumhouse Studio be scared of Taylor Swift and move the movie? Let me know in the comment section down below for that one. Okay, now for the next news story here, as the last horror news story of the week. This is in regards to like a minor update when it comes to Scream 7. Now, as we know, I spoke about this, I believe, 2 weeks ago when it comes to like the weekly news video. In terms of Scream 7, they are looking to like film it from January to April. We don't know the update when it comes to like Jenna Ortega or Melissa Barrero's presence in the movie itself. Now, take this with a huge grain of salt. This has not been confirmed officially, but we're getting it from the Critical Overlord, who has got stuff right in the past, and we even brought him up earlier on in this video itself. So it's confirming here that Nevecampbell was negotiating for her return for Scream 7 prior to the writer's strike, and he even posted this on his YouTube video, which he mentions this.
Is that Scream 7 wouldn't be a direct follow-up to 6, but rather a Sidney story. So 2/3 of the rumor they heard came true, so now we just have to wait for that last bit regarding a Sidney-centric film to come to fruition to see if that part is true. Nevecampbell was 100% negotiating her future in the Scream franchise prior to the SAG and WGA strikes, but she 100% was negotiating prior to the strikes, similar to how Christopher Landon was negotiating prior to the strikes.
And we've got a couple of other people bringing this up, saying, after speaking with multiple people, I can confirm Nevecampbell was in negotiations with the studio to return for Scream 7 before the strikes began. The belief is the story is reliant on Sidney, so both sides want to make a deal happen. Time will tell, but it looks promising. And then you've got viewer Anon, who also a reliable scooper, has also chimed in saying, throwing my 2 cents in, I don't know Nev's status for Scream 7, other than that they were talking. So again, take this with a grain of salt. Not 100% confirming that Nevecampbell will be returning, like Sidney Prescott will be coming back to Scream 7, but apparently before the strikes took place, apparently there were discussions with Nevecampbell in terms of returning for Scream 7. Now there's been a lot of talk when it comes to this, after this was revealed, how she should just be left alone, that people need her to come back, that this is what the Scream movie needs. When it comes to like my opinion, I'll be honest, if they can write her into like a good storyline, I'm all for it. But if she doesn't return, I'm happy with the way they left everything, with her being married, having the 3 kids, not needing to return. Like, she passed the torch to Sam and Tara, Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega's character. So if she's left alone, if she's got her happy ending, I'm all happy for that and all for that. But if she is returning, hopefully it's not just like a cameo or just like being like in the background, if that makes sense. I feel like they need to really integrate her into the movie in a well-written story, but I don't know what they could do with her, to be honest. Like, I feel like they need to focus on Sam and Tara, and even like bring up the aspect of like their mother, because it was mentioned in Scream 5 but not really explored much. So maybe have that focus on their family aspect. But again, with the whole strike, with like everything being taking place after the strike is done, they have so many projects that they need to work on, Jenna Ortega in particular. I don't know how they're going to be bringing in, how they're going to weave them into the Scream 7 filming with that taking place from January to April of next year. So maybe this is how they're going to get Neve Campbell to come back, because they're going to be focusing on her and maybe Courtney Cox's character. But I feel like the stakes need to be raised. I'm hoping that they don't kill her off, because I feel like she does deserve a happy ending. But when it comes to like Scream 7 in itself, I definitely feel like they need to up the stakes, because spoiler alert if you haven't seen Scream 6, but just a lot of the characters just felt like they were untouchable. Chad got stabbed so many times, I think like over 10 times in his stomach and in his chest, but he was able to survive. Same thing happened to him in Scream 5. So I feel like they need to up the stakes, raise the ante. I don't want any of them to be killed off, but I feel like they need to have that so they're not feeling invincible. But who knows, like if she is coming back, like I said, I'm all for it, but we'll see what happens after the strike comes to an end. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Do you want Neve Campbell to come back? Do you think she should come back? Let me know in the comment section down below what your side of the fence is when it comes to this. Okay, now for the next news story, a quick update when it comes to Batman 2, Matt Reeves' Batman that is. So this is coming from My Time to Shine, confirming that Batman Part 2 will be beginning filming in March of 2024, so March of next year, and Clayface is rumoured to be involved in the film. Now whether he's like the main villain or just one of the villains, we're still up in the air. But I'm actually really excited for this. I really enjoyed Batman. Robert Pattinson's Batman is my second favourite Batman movie. Number one, definitely Dark Knight. But I'm really, really excited for this. I'm hoping that when it comes to Clayface, though, it's not somebody that's just like in a clay costume. That's more of like a clay monster rather than a clay costume. But seeing how Matt Reeves is going for like a more grounded tone when it comes to like the Batman movies, more grounded villains, more grounded characters, I don't think that they're going to take like the supernatural element to it. So that's my only fear when it comes to having Clayface in the movie. But I could be wrong. He could be going for something new when it comes to Batman Part 2. Having the filming take place in March, I think that's because they believe that the strike is going to be resolved, so they're able to start filming in March. But I don't know, like I feel like it's going to be delayed. But right now they've got penciled in March 2024. March next year is when we're going to be beginning filming Batman 2, which means that most likely we're going to see Batman in maybe 2025. However, with James Gunn Superman movie coming out in 2025, maybe after the Superman New Legacy movie comes out, so maybe towards the end of 2025 or maybe beginning of 2026. We'll have to wait and see. But what are your thoughts about Clayface being involved in the movie? Do you think he's going to be the big bad villain? Do you think he's going to be a side villain? Do you think he's going to be in a costume or an actual clay monster? Let me know in the comment section down below, and also your preference for that as well. Okay, now for the final couple of news stories, this is sort of going to be related to like Marvel side of things here. So the first news story, which I believe is going to piss off a lot of people, is that we've got confirmation that She-Hulk is actually going to be renewed for season 2. So the most popular Disney Plus show, the one that everybody's been waiting for, She-Hulk, is coming back for season 2. Now, I'm one of those people that wasn't a fan of She-Hulk. I don't hate it as much as other people hate it and despise it, because I honestly do like the lead character. I feel like Tatiana Maslany did a great job as Jennifer Walters in the show itself, but they just leaned a lot towards like the fourth wall, attacking the trolls and the people that are dissing the show itself, rather than focusing on like the fun elements of like the courthouse sequence. So I just feel like that really negated the show and really took the show down to like a lower level. But if they are bringing on season 2, I hope it does focus on that. Like I said, the courtrooms, just have these episodes, like these standalone episodes when it comes to like courthouse, whether it's like superheroes or like heroes in court, or whether it's regular people, but just have it more focused on like that lawyer based stuff. Have the fourth wall breaking, no problem, but just don't have it where it's like you're feeding into the trolls, or you're like focusing on like the people that are talking negative about the show. But to be honest with you, out of all the shows, I was not expecting She-Hulk to have a season 2. I just feel like when it comes to like all these Disney Plus characters, it's just all over the place. Like you have so many of these shows, from Wonder to Vision, and like Vision Quest coming out. You've got Agatha Covenant of Chaos coming out, Echo, you have Moon Knight and Hawkeye and Kate Bishop and probably other shows that I'm missing from the top of my head right now. You've got all these characters just sort of like stuck in limbo, and like with this whole Disney Plus formula, it's just not working for me. So while I don't mind a She-Hulk season 2 if they do it right, I just don't think it's the top priority, because it just feels like Marvel is honestly just a complete mess when it comes to like everything going on with it here, when it comes to like phase 4, phase 5 and the future of the MCU. Like, if you told me what are you more excited about, James Gunn's DC future or the MCU future, I'm sort of leaning towards James Gunn's DC future, because like I said, Marvel's kind of a mess. But we'll discuss this in a second, so let me know your thoughts about the She-Hulk season 2. Would you be checking it out? Are you excited? Are you honestly just flat out disappointed and won't even check it out? Let me know in the comment section down below. But as we continue through the Marvel train here, because you've got confirmation here, this is coming from My Time to Shine here, again reliable scooper, that Quantumania and the Multiverse of Madness writers Jeff Loveness and Michael Waldron are rumored to have been laid off as the writers for the Avengers Kangdynasty and the Avengers Secret War. So for those of you that weren't a fan of Multiverse of Madness, weren't a fan of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the writers for those have apparently been laid off and are no longer going to be tied to the Avengers project, so Kangdynasty and Secret Wars. Now again, it hasn't been confirmed by Marvel or Kevin Feige or anybody in like the MCU side of things here, but My Time to Shine has got stuff right in the past, so again, take this with a grain of salt, but they are reliable scooper. So the writers are now being laid off, so they're no longer part of the project. Now, I'll be honest, when it comes to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I was not a huge fan of that movie. And it's not just in terms of the visual effects, but just in terms of the storytelling and like the jokes too. Just like, for example, MODOK, way too comedic, and just the jokes too just weren't in the right aspect of the tone. Like, for example, his spoiler alert death sequence, when it comes to him saying that he's an Avenger, just felt like such a weird moment to bring that up when it comes to like his death sequence. Like, Multiverse of Madness, while I feel like it's one of the better post Endgame movies, there wasn't enough multiverse hopping, Multiverse of Madness. The storyline did work. Wanda was a great villain, and what they did with the movie really did tie everything together and really did work. But that is, again, like the bar is pretty low when it comes to like movies post Endgame and like how good they are. So now with these writers being laid off, like it's just, like I said, everything's just in limbo when it comes to this. Like, to be honest with you, Kangdynasty and Secret Wars, like I really want these movies to be good, but there's just not been any like excitement when it comes to these movies. There's not been any build up towards it. Like I said, every show, every movie, while it feels like a standalone and it feels like a setup, the setup just is not paying off well. Secret Invasions is a prime example of like a setup, a premise that could have worked and should have worked on paper, but just felt flat. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania fell flat. So I don't know, like for me, I don't have like comic book fatigue, far from that, because I do enjoy like comic book movies, and like I don't get tired of them. Like Blue Beetle was such a breath of fresh air. I finally got to watch it. I haven't posted like a review or anything like that for it, but I really enjoyed that movie. It's one of my favorite comic book movies this year. But everything else is just, I don't know, it's just like they really need to reinvent themselves when it comes to like the MCU. I don't want Secret Invasions or Kangdynasty to just fall flat, and I just, like I said, I just want things to be like getting back into the routine of like, if they're doing a setup, like actually working with a setup, having the movie focus on like the storyline and then setting up everything nicely. Look at phase 1, 2 and 3. So it's just like I said, it's all over the place. Like, for example, I mentioned the Marvels trailer. The movie seems like a great standalone fun movie, but these characters are just in their own world doing their own thing. They may get a post-credit scene, but then nothing's moving it forward. Loki is the only one I feel like is really moving the storyline forward. Everything else just, I don't know, it's really like stuck in a limbo. It's just sort of like I'm kind of like in the middle of things when it comes to like my feelings with the MCU. So sorry if this was kind of like a rant about the MCU, but what are your thoughts about this? If this is true, the writers for Quantumania, the writers for Multiverse of Madness, Jeffrey Loveness and Michael Wharton being laid off from these projects, what are your thoughts about that? Are you happy with that? Are you disappointed? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that about wraps it up for this week's weekly entertainment news video. Again, apologies for like the MCU rant that we had there. Lots of very interesting things that we did discuss here. So I want to know your thoughts about everything in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Like I said, we do these every single week. So if you do like this type of content, definitely subscribe so that you don't miss out on that. And also I have got a Twitter. Link is in the description down below, so you can go ahead, follow me there, so you know whenever I do post, you know my thoughts about things that do get announced. And like I said, videos are going to be coming out. That Wolverine Lego build, I've still got it here, but I am going to be planning on doing that video, so definitely keep an eye out on that, along with all the Saw movie reviews and the tier ranking. A couple of other videos are also going to be planning on working on as well, so content is coming. Definitely subscribe so that you don't miss out on that. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.